Coming up tonight on Primetime Local News, a new Esso Cup champion was crowned on Saturday. Plus, the Lloydminster and District Co-op held their annual general meeting, and the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation held their annual gala.
Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hello and welcome to Primetime Local News. I'm Lane Hoffert, and thanks for joining me. The Lloydminster Region Health Foundation hosted their annual gala last Friday, bringing the community together to support the local nonprofit. Many people gathered to celebrate and donate towards the cause of healthcare in Lloydminster. Stephanie Monroe, CEO of the Health Foundation, speaks to what all of these proceeds will be going towards.
We are raising funds for our Greatest Needs Fund. And when we raise funds for that in particular, it allows us to have the capability to have funds on hand no matter what circumstance may arise. So when we have funds in our Greatest Needs Fund, it's not necessarily allocated to a specific project, but we can use those funds to fund anything that may come up as an urgent or non-urgent enhancement to healthcare.
Raising over $3 million over a 21-year span, the Lloyd Region Health Foundation is proud to be able to support the border city.
This year we didn't even have to advertise, which really means to me that the community supports healthcare enhancements in our community and they enjoy coming to the evening. And not only is the evening here for fundraising, but it's also an opportunity to say thank you. Thank you to our amazing sponsors, to our amazing donors, to the people that support healthcare in our community and support the enhancements that and the work that the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation does.
The organization is now gearing up for the inaugural Synergy Credit Union Sunrise Run coming up on May 10th. The Lloydminster District Co-op held their 111th AGM last week to discuss 2024 and their plans for 2025. The co-op had overall a pretty good 2024. They made a little over $8 million in earnings, less than their record-breaking year though in 2023.
It was good. We had a few challenges this past year, a little bit more up against the previous year. We had a record sales year at $192.6 million in sales revenue. Some may remember we had a cyber incident last summer, and that affected some of the sales we had, and then our wholesaler had a lot of costs associated with repairing that.
Another thing discussed at the meeting was the co-op will be returning $4.4 million to co-op members in early May, and as of right now, there are no big plans or goals for the district in 2025.
Really, the theme for this entire year is running the business. We're just trying to fine-tune things and make sure we're giving the best service to our members as possible. So that's our goal for 2025 currently.
If anyone is looking to become a co-op member, you can head on down to the co-op admin office or any of the gas bar locations. It's time now for Retrospect. Here is Nick Hott.
This week on Retrospect, we travel back to the year 1997 for a look into political signs being removed.
Election fever is in the air and usually on your lawn or down your street. But this week, the colorful pageantry of campaign signs has vanished, leaving parties looking for answers.
All of us who are working on the sign crew, that's about half a dozen of us here in Lloyd, were surprised, annoyed, and then just a little bit pissed off when we realized 200-300 signs had suddenly vanished overnight.
Volunteer crews for local candidates were out all day Sunday making a final push to get their signs out. By 11 o'clock the next morning, hundreds of them were in the landfill. And the culprits responsible, Lloydminster city workers.
We'll tolerate political signs, we'll tolerate religious signs to a degree on the boulevards, provided they're not on the center medians of Highway 16 or 17. Our crews were out trying to do weed control, fertilization, and grass cutting. They were advised to pick up the signs. However, they went too far in actually picking them up and taking them to the landfill.
Almost every patch of grass and busy intersection becomes a prime target for the colorful signs. However, they've become a rare sight in Lloydminster, as everywhere you look, the party advertising has disappeared. Most local candidates are quite upset, but they say it's too late. The damage has been done, with the election only days away.
$100 plus signs, the big 4x8 ones, we're totally out of. So we'll put some more out, but it won't have anything near the impact everyone planned it to have.
That it's our democratic right, to display signs and to be consulted even to take them down or put them on the side. That's a federal offense to remove signs like that.
Gillis even went out to the dump to have a look for herself.
There's a lot of money involved, a lot of time, volunteer time, and I think that that has to be acknowledged, and you just can't get away with this sort of thing.
It's a matter of replacing those signs at this short a notice.
Herman says they have spoken to the local returning officer about the problem.
Actually recommended that we should notify the RCMP and take action. Now, whether we're going to do that or not, I don't know, but certainly I think there's good cause for us to make a claim.
Our intent was to clean up the city, do weed control. There is the summer games coming, and some of the weather has put them behind. And like I said, we went too far, irregardless of the threats of legal action, that type of stuff. The damage is done. It's over.
The city apologizes to the local candidates for their mistake. And parties, although disappointed that their hard work is now only being seen by these birds, don't feel their chances on June 2nd will suffer because of it. Julie Matthews, NewsHour.
Next, we jump forward to the year 2000 for a look into the construction of City Hall and the Lloydminster election.
Tom Lysyk is a busy man, not only with tomorrow's civic election, but in preparing for the big move to the new City Hall in just over 1 week's time. Construction crews continue to put the finishing touches on the new Lloydminster City Hall, and with the clock ticking, they will need to be done by the end of next week.
We know we're trying to move two buildings into one, and there's some logistic things that are in our way, but we expect to get in there and start working on smoothing them out, and then we hope that the public will come and see us.
And Tom Lysyk is hoping a lot of Border City residents visit the ballot box Wednesday, though some concerns have been expressed by voters who want to make a minimum number of X's, the fear being that ballots may be spoiled.
All of those votes will be counted, even if you only mark one for one person. And we've had those comments from a number of people that have either phoned in or have dropped in and stuff. Why, I don't know, but it's something I'd like to remind people that you're only expected to vote for the people you want to vote up to the maximum allotted number.
As last week's turnout at the All Candidates Forum proved, there does seem to be a lot of interest in the Lloydminster election, and city officials are expecting a lot of people at the polls.
I take my numbers from the advanced poll, and they're roughly double what they were the last general election, and I'm kind of expecting a fairly healthy turnout.
As in past years, polling will run from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening. And a reminder to voters, there are 2 new polling areas in the southwest corner of the city. If you are unsure of where to cast your ballot, simply consult the local newspapers for the maps. For NewsHour, I'm Michael Higgins.
And that's all for this week of Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consort.
We'll have more primetime local news after the break. The Libby Young Centre in Lloydminster is setting up an online auction fundraiser to support their programming. Callan Dunlop has more of the details.
Today I'm happy to be joined by Trina Schmidt, Executive Director for the Libby Young Centre. And we're here to discuss your upcoming online auction. But first, to start, what is the Libby Young Centre for those unaware?
So the Libby Young Centre is a not-for-profit that is working here in Lloydminster, and we've been working since actually 1983, supporting adults living with mental illness.
And what does that support look like?
So we have a few programs. So we support clients through learning life skills, through education, through supporting them in a supported independent living environment, through our day program, and through our community outreach program.
I'd like to hear more about the upcoming online auction fundraiser. Can you tell me more about that?
Annually, we do a fundraiser called Mental Health Matters. And, you know, it's really important because unfortunately still today, mental health is still a topic that has stigma around it, right? So we talk to people with diabetes or any other sort of physical ailment, and we usually approach that with some empathy and compassion. But unfortunately, sometimes still in our society, when somebody says, I live with a mental illness, there's some stigma with that. And so oftentimes people find themselves judged. They may find themselves discriminated against, and therefore they sort of shut down. So this is our opportunity to talk about mental health matters. We need mental wellness for all. So it's our campaign to bring the topic to the surface and talk about it. But it is also our annual fundraiser. So like many other not-for-profits, we have some core funding, but we have to, you know, find funding opportunities for the rest of our programs and services. And this is one way we do that.
What sort of items will be available during the auction?
And in fact, I was thinking about that this morning, getting ready for this. We still have items coming in, which is very exciting. But we have things like gift certificates for local restaurants. We have a Supreme vehicle detailing package. So it's that time of year, you know, winter's over. We want to clean up our vehicle. We've actually got 3 of those packages. Those value, I think, at $310. So that was an amazing donation. We have things like garden decor, solar lights, you know, little figurines. We have a retro cooler. You know, we're headed into that season where we're going to want to be on our patio. And we have some outdoor games. We've got a donation of a ladder golf game, a lawn curling game, right? So I'm really excited to see what's coming in for items with this season. But we've also been tapping into some of our local artisans. So we are hearing today some of the items that are coming in. One lady just emailed with a picture of a beautiful earring and bracelet set that she handcrafted. So we're doing that as well.
Why did you guys pick the theme Unmasking Mental Illness?
Well, we actually changed the timing of our fundraiser a bit. It used to be in the fall, and we're now doing it in May because the first full week in May is Mental Health Week. And so Canadian Mental Health is the one who sets the theme. And so they've set the theme of unmasking mental health. And so, as I said earlier, oftentimes, unfortunately, in our society still, individuals living with mental illness feel the stigma that is real and still exists in our society. So, you know, we all mask a little bit. We meet somebody new and we, you know, get to know them before we really show our true self. That's normal. But unfortunately, some of our clients feel like they have to put that mask on all the time. You know, whether that's to keep their job, whether that's to find housing, whether that is just to not be judged. And that's exhausting, right? People become disconnected with who they truly are. They might isolate because of that, right? So this is our opportunity to say, as a community, we need to rally behind, you know, people who are living with mental illness. They're no different than anybody living with a physical illness. And so let's talk about it. And that unmasking is exactly that. You know, what we can do is have real conversations, normalize the topic, so that people feel like, oh, I can tell you what I'm dealing with without you judging me.
And what are these proceeds going towards?
All proceeds will be funneling to our day program. Our day program is open to anyone in the community who's living with a mental illness. And that is one of our programs that we don't have a lot of core funding in. We only have maybe about a quarter of the program costs covered by some core funding. So all of our funds raised will go to that. And that program offers educational and recreational opportunities. So they, it's about, again, being in a safe environment with people who are dealing with some of the same challenges in life that you are, learning how to socialize in, again, a comfortable, safe environment, but also how to engage in community, right? So they might go bowling, or they might go play some pool, they might go for a walk in Bud Miller Park, but also they might sit down and have some education sessions on how to set boundaries. How does the stigma feel, and how do you respond to stigma, right? So both from an educational perspective, but also an engagement perspective, to make sure people aren't isolating, and just keeping to themselves.
Was there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'll just say I've created the auction site this morning. So 32auctions.com/LYC 2025 is the link. And items will start to go up there in the next week.
Well, that covers all of my questions. I want to thank you again for taking the time to talk about this today.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity.
That's all for news. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your closing market.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
The Esso Cup wrapped up on Saturday with both the bronze and gold medal games being played. I have more on the last day of the tournament, as well as the champions. The final day of the Esso Cup began with the North York Storm defeating the host team Lloydminster PWM Steelers 4-1 to win bronze in the tournament. Despite the Steelers not walking away with a medal, head coach Dan Aukenberg is proud of how well the team played in the Esso Cup.
Obviously, you come in as a host, right, and you kind of didn't earn it like everybody else did, but we had to represent ourselves with character and class. And we persevered over that immensely. I mean, getting into the top four, beating three of the top teams in Canada, you can't not say we weren't successful.
The final game of the tournament was the gold medal game, which resulted in the Edmonton Junior Oilers winning the Esso Cup over the Saskatoon Stars in a thrilling 7-3 victory. Junior Oilers head coach Joel Lenius says the win comes after the team faced lots of adversity this season.
We had a lot of adversity this year. One of our billet mothers passed away, and our captain goes down with injury. So I think more than anybody went through a ton of adversity, maybe not on the ice with the scoreboard, but all the stuff behind the scenes. And just see how tight the group is and how much they stuck together like a family is pretty impressive. And they really earned this as a group. And we talk about deserve versus earn, and I think they earned this going through everything that they went through this season for sure.
The Junior Oilers say winning gold in the Esso Cup is a memory and experience that will follow them through their careers and lives.
It's been amazing. Even just being here at Esso was such a great possibility and opportunity for us, but I think just being able to do it with all 20 girls and all the members of the staff here has just been the most brilliant experience I could have ever asked for.
It feels a little surreal. I think we've had this goal since day one that our season started and our team was made, and I think it's just so surreal that we've made it to this moment, and it's just unreal.
The Esso Cup was the last major tournament to take place in the Centennial Civic Center as the Cenovus Energy Hub opens its doors later this year. Lane Hoffert, Primetime Local News. Spring brings many things to Saskatchewan: warmer weather, construction, and the threat of avian flu. CTV's Damian Smith has more on the disease and recommendations for anyone that might cross paths with an infected bird.
With the return of migratory birds in Saskatchewan, the Ministry of Environment is reminding the public to be on the lookout for signs of avian flu, also known as the bird flu. It's a common occurrence among the wild bird population, with the poultry industry being hit the hardest back in 2022.
In the recent years, with this novel strain, it's actually caused more significant mortality in wild bird populations and domestic poultry than other strains. We certainly want members of the public to keep an eye out for any signs of sick or dead birds.
According to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, there has been 46 infected premises here in Saskatchewan, impacting 751,000 birds. However, there are no current outbreaks in the province. In a post on social media, Salthaven West Wildlife Rehabilitation Center says it is receiving several calls daily about avian flu in snow and Canadian geese in Regina and across southern Saskatchewan, adding they cannot emit or transport animals that are showing symptoms due to the risk of transmission to other patients in their care.
So in those most severe cases, you're going to see respiratory signs. So you might see gasping, nasal ocular discharge, and neurological symptoms. So things like twisted necks, abnormal behavior, disorientation, those types of symptoms.
Waterfowl, shorebirds, raptors, and corvids are also some birds that may carry the virus. Among animals, foxes, skunks, and even pets can easily carry it as well. As for humans, the risk is classified as low according to the Ministry of Health. Now, if you do happen to stumble upon a dead bird, the ministry does recommend that you do reach out to the Canadian Wildlife Health Cooperative for further instructions. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
That's all for news. Now let's take a look at your agriculture prices. Taking a quick look at your weather, today is breezy with a high of 16 and a low of 2. And then tomorrow will be breezy in the afternoon with a high of 15 and a low of 1. And then Thursday, those clouds are going to die down and we'll have a mostly sunny and pleasant day with that high getting up to 18 and that low at 4. So we do have quite a nice middle of the week here for us in Lloydminster. And that is your quick look at our weather. And that's all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. I'm Lane Hoffert, and thanks for joining me.